How's everybody doing? Good. All right, so my name is Manny Salam. I'm the founder and CEO of Invoira, and our company makes sure that accountants save time when managing vendor payments. So we build technology to help streamline that process. And the idea of Invoira came from my experience in the accounting industry. I spent several years working as a bookkeeper. I managed accounts payables, vendor payments for many small companies in the retail space. Now this happened more than 10 years ago, so back then the process was super inefficient. There was a lot of paper, a lot of manual data entry, invoice approvals were being done manually, so I had to be running around the office with paper invoices, collecting signatures before sending payments to vendors. And unfortunately today, the problem exists and most small companies are still struggling with this process. And the reason why we focus on helping accounting firms is because they're the ones that are actually suffering the most from this problem, given the fact that they're usually very small teams, and they have to manage this problem for many of their clients. So our solution is a web-based platform specifically designed for accountants to help streamline the entire vendor payment process. We automate their data entry, the invoice approval workflows, send automated payments while reconciling every transaction with their accounting system in real time. Accountants that have used our platform have experienced 85 efficiency increase in their accounts payable workflows. Most of the companies today that offer full accounts payable automation, they tend to focus on larger organizations. So their technologies are very robust and very expensive, not ideal for smaller organizations. And when you look at the tools in the small business space, they have many limitations, and none of them really focuses on addressing the specific needs that accountants have. The accounting industry is going through a major digital transformation. Accountants, CPA firms are actively searching for tools that can help them replace their day-to-day back office operations, and accounts payable is a big portion of that. So we provide them with a product that helps them save time and money and allows them to focus on providing their clients a more personalized service, which can help them not only to survive this disruption, but also stay ahead of the competition. We generate revenues by providing subscription access to our platform. We also collect a transaction fee when our users pay their vendors. We decided to keep it a flat subscription fee to make it simple for smaller companies. Other solutions have a per-seat pricing model, which is not very convenient for small companies that have large volumes. In 5 years, we're projecting revenues of over $1 million. Right now, we're focused on providing accounts payable automation, but as we continue to validate our business model, we'll add more features to our product for expense management and expense analytics for small companies. I'm a software engineer, I'm not an accountant, so we wanted to make sure that our product is as close as possible before bringing it to the hands of accountants. We've been in business for about 2 years. We've been building, prototyping, and speaking to our customers. And in November of last year, we launched a private beta where we onboarded 10 accounting firms. They gave us their feedback. They told us that Invoira was exactly what they have been waiting for in order to manage this process. So we're very excited to hear that. Right now, we have a growing list of 100 accounting firms waiting for a product release, which will be in this summer. Before that, we need to add additional functionality to our product. We also need to develop our digital marketing strategy. We'll be launching a marketing campaign in the summer, and then as we scale our marketing campaigns, we'll continue adding additional digital marketing channels. Right now, we're raising $150,000 to help us execute that strategy. Our main goal is to validate our current business model, and we want to reach $7,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Our team has 35-year combined experience in accounting and technology. I've been a software developer for almost 10 years, building large-scale web applications in e-commerce and payments. My business partner, Sonia, she's a veteran in the industry. She has her own CPA firm providing accounting and CFO outsource services for small and mid-sized companies. Our goal is to really change the world, make work more efficient and enjoyable. And if that resonates with you, I would love to connect. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you, Manny. That was great. I like how you opened up with a personal story that you used to be in accounts payable, did it 10 years ago, so you created the problem. You'll hear me say with Alexis here, we did a podcast, and we always talk about storytelling, and so telling a personal story to engage the audience is a great thing. I think your total addressable market is much bigger than $54 million. I think it's a huge total addressable market, unless, so I'm not sure where you got those numbers. This is on like slide 4 or 5. It just seems like, I was expecting a B after that, not an M. So, yeah, if you want to go back there. It seems like a really large market. That said, it's a large market, but it's also a really crowded space. I just did a quick Capterra search last night. 147 companies came up. So you have to be super differentiated to break into this model. Of course, everybody in this room knows AvidXchange, which of course was on your grid there. But you're competing with some real big boys out there, so you have to have some real differentiation. So that being said, I was trying to understand what the differentiation is, and maybe you can help me out here. I think you're selling to accounting firms that are doing bookkeeping for small businesses. Do I have that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And so you're not, so like AvidXchange sells to small, medium, large businesses directly, right?
They focus mainly on mid-sized, enterprise-sized companies.
Okay.
Small accounting firms, they have very specific workflows and how they work with their clients. Mm-hmm. So for example, they might have an approver who also needs to have access to entering their banking information to be able to pay invoices. So the approver will be the client of the accounting. In a larger organization, the approver is just a member of the team. Right. So it's a different workflow.
And the other piece of differentiation that you didn't mention up here, but I think is on your website, is just about you have a piece of AI built in there. You're reading the invoices and pre-populating information. I think you hear that a lot now, but I would definitely put that into your pitch also. Okay. Include that.
I was actually trying to leave that out because people are just throwing that word out there.
Yeah, that's true. I hear you. But if that works, it's definitely it's going to save time for the accounting firm. So it's a good thing to know. I'll let Daniel speak.
So Manny, a great job in actually hitting the time requirement, because very few people do. So, and it's hard. I know actually doing the whole thing, you've been working on this for years, and to get up here in front of this audience and do the 5-minute pitch is not an easy thing. I did like your layout in terms of you hit kind of the most important things from my point of view in terms of, here's the problem, here's the solution, here's the competitive landscape. It amazes me when people talk to investors and they don't do that. You kind of have to do that, right? Where do you fit relative to AvidXchange, Bills.com, et cetera? So you did that. The market size, this particular slide. So you had all these interesting numbers up here, but when you were reviewing this slide, you actually didn't talk to the slide. You talked about something other than what was on here, and I think I agree with Rob that this market is big in terms of what the impact could be, and if you're charging $57 a month for a seat license, right? What is that? What are the total? What's the total population of potential seats? And it was hard to figure that out because as an investor, they're really not smart, right? You have to lead them through the math, and math would be, what's the total population of seats? How much of that am I going to get? And then that actually leads me into my next comment. Is you did a little bit of go to market, right? Big question when you're doing any kind of software as a service monthly subscription model is, okay, you're charging $57 a month. What's my customer acquisition cost going to look like, right? And then the other thing is most investors are also when you do size of market. And by the way, I should say in your go to market, I did like that you laid out kind of the plan of what you needed to add, and then when you did the I'm raising 150,000, you did the what am I going to actually spend the money on? So that's all really good. But if you go to your projected revenue slide, right? One of the things that investors, most investors that I'm, again, if you look at this from a venture point of view, a market size in year 5 of $1 million in revenue isn't really going to get anybody terribly excited, right? And that relates back to what's the size of the market and how am I going to get there. right? And so I think that's one of the challenges here is, and I know you're trying to, set the right bar, but at $1 million in revenue 5 years out, from an investor point of view, it's hard to get excited about that.
Let's take some questions from the audience.
Go ahead.
Are you running the mic?
Yeah, just stand up.
Because your total addressable market is fairly small, are there other verticals that you see taking your technology and software and venturing into later expanding?
Yeah, so we're thinking about partnering with larger accounting firms. There are many accounting services that have come out lately, companies like Pilot and others. They provide full charge accounting and bookkeeping for small companies and startups. We want to partner with those companies. They can use our platform to provide accounts payable for their clients. They don't have to really build that solution, so we can partner with them. That's one of the things we've been thinking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have two questions. The first is, what is specifically your customer acquisition strategy? I think it's really great that you're targeting accounting firms so that allows you to acquire multiple clients at the same time, rather than going directly to organizations, maybe an in-house bookkeeper. How do you plan on partnering with those firms, and then what's the incentive for that firm to leverage you guys as opposed to a Bill.com, for example?
So the incentive is that we are making their process more efficient, so they're saving a lot of time, so they can start focusing on doing other things for their clients, maybe providing additional services to acquire more clients. And what was the other question that you?
Like, what's the advantage to leveraging you guys as opposed to Bill.com and the other players?
Yeah, and one of the main things with the Bill.com is the price is very high. So a lot of the small accounting firms, they work with a lot of small companies, and that's one of the main things that they complain about is their pricing. So we're shooting more towards really small organizations, and that's where we want to start. And our marketing strategy, we're developing a sales funnel. So we're using social media content. They go through our email marketing campaigns, and then we'll get them into signing up.
Hey Manny, I have a follow-up question. Can you just talk a little bit about your beta? So I'm a traction guy, and you can't talk a lot about revenue yet, but how many invoices are being processed by each of your beta customers? Do you have some numbers on those?
So right now, we don't have anybody using our platform. We just wanted to make sure to take care of all the problems that we had, and we did. And we processed around $50,000 in invoices and payments.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the audience?
Yeah, quick question, expanding on for Rob. So you've got a receipt of the invoices, right?
Right.
So how are you eliminating the manual touch points that are involved prior to actually processing the transaction for that payment to be received by the supplier or whatever? And then secondary, since you're very focused on a singular market, is there an opportunity to leverage the scales of the economy and isolate pockets of vendors that satisfy the needs of that specific industry?
Can you repeat the first question, please?
So using the Avid model,
Yeah.
they have a large workforce, they receive a lot of, whether it's email or printed.
Yep,
Right? So
yep.
they have a lot of manual touches, opening and processing,
Right.
putting it in the approval queue for then the technology to take over. So how does your technology satisfy that, or at least eliminate that? Is that going to be part of your delivery?
So we are leveraging the entire part. We're outsourcing that portion. We're partnering with companies that take care of that problem for us. We don't have to really bring people on board. They specialize in AI and machine learning, so they work with pretty large companies doing that. So that would take care of that first part. And the second question was?
I'm just wondering, if you're very vertically focused on accounting, so is there a subset of vendors or suppliers that work specifically with accounting firms, so you could leverage the scales of economies based on working with, hey, I see these types of, thinking of like maintenance or operational expenses that manufacturers would incur. There's a huge group of suppliers that provide the same types of materials. You just need the same accountants. Sorry.
I still don't understand the question.
Sounds like a coffee.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Manny.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.